Oh, wait a minute. There we go. We're both on now. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe. Yeah, we got him. There we go. Excellent. There's the camera right there. So I'm here in studio with Roosh, who just did a spoof in Sharpe Studios, which was which was actually quite funny. But on a serious note, Roosh is here in Philly, and this is what, your second or third stop on your tour? Or?
This is stop number 3.
Okay, wow. So he's on his third stop on his tour, and he's kind enough to come by and spend a little time here in the towers. We just lit off fireworks, but nothing of note really happened. They weren't projectile fireworks, so there was kind of a little bit of a dud, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and this is my first time in Philly. I have driven past here, but it looks like a slightly less dense version of Washington.
Wow.
So it isn't bad. It's nothing new that I haven't seen. A lot of cars are playing hip-hop. Hip-hop seems to be popular music here. So yeah, I'm here for 4 nights. My event starts Friday night, and my main talk is on Saturday. I hope you can join.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And so I'm just going to share some things with people about 10 things I've learned about life upon turning 40, because I am middle-aged now, and I have been through a couple things, and just wanted to share that in one continuous talk that I think people will get value from, to learn from.
Devin trying to do her best to stay off the camera there. So your talk is going to be mainly centered around 10 things you learned after you turned 40. I remember...
Upon turning
40.
It's going to include some things that happened a long time ago, too.
Okay, perfect. I remember one article that you put on your blog post, 7 things you learned after turning 30, and the one thing that stuck out to me was I don't pee as well, right? Like the whole... Like, listen, I can say the same thing. The flow is not as steady as it was, but... All jokes aside, I don't want you to give away what's going on in your talk, but give us sort of an idea as to why you decided to do it like this. And is your talk or your talks, your tours, are going to be centered kind of around your recent change in philosophy?
You know, a lot of people, when they turn 30 or 40, they do a blog post, and they write an article saying X amount of things I learned. But me at the time, I've been blogging and writing for years and years, and I don't have the opportunity to meet face to face with people who follow me.
Right.
So I figured since it's been 4 years since I last did an event, that this would be a great opportunity. And the talk really highlights a lot of different moves and turns I've made in life. Right. And it includes the most recent turn towards God that I've made. So I like to think it has something for everybody. There are some stories involving game and so on. So I really wanted to hit on a lot of notes, so the talk wouldn't be a one-dimensional thing. Okay. But but from the feedback I've gotten so far, the talk really, depending on the stage of life you are in, you will be hit by a certain part of the talk, which kind of gives you an indicator of maybe a next step that you can make and how to approach that.
Okay, good, very good. This is one question I wanted to ask you. How has your life changed since the announcement? You made an appearance on my show. You were mistaken for a homeless guy. Hopefully that went well. They didn't harm you or anything like that. But how has your life changed since the big announcement? Roosh has renounced game, and he is now... you're now going to follow. I guess you're going to follow Christianity. You're going to do it. You're going to do it God's way.
I would say that my relationships with everybody changed. Because most of the people I knew before that change were living a secular type of life. Okay. They were living in the world to receive material benefits from this world. Okay. And now I'm going away from that, but all the people that I've known, they're still into that. They still want status and money and women and so on. Okay. So that, I don't find it as important. So now this is creating a subtle conflict between everybody that I know. And in some cases it's been worse than others. But now the things that are important to me, my existing friends don't really care. Especially my friends online, internet friends. Right. You know, they want they wanted to use me to get advice for girls. I'm not giving that anymore. So what use do they have for me? So that relationship has changed. But in real life too, because a lot of the friends I have, we would meet over the weekend, grab a couple of drinks, and hit on girls in the bar while recounting stories of previous girls we were with. That was the entire basis of the relationship that we had. But now we don't really have that, because my friend is going to share a story which I can't add to, I can't give him feedback to, and I can't respond with a story in kind about this girl that I met. So even without having to go through a talk like, oh, Roosh, you've changed, or friend, you haven't changed, you can feel that, okay, now there's less glue there. And then so you start to seek out friendships with people who are now where you are. So it's kind of the closest I've seen to it is when you take a long trip away and you come back, you're friends with people who haven't taken that kind of journey. So connecting with them is a little bit difficult.
It's tricky.
Your experiences are completely different now. When you were growing at the same speed. So this is how it seems. Like I took a long trip somewhere and I've come back interacting with people who haven't taken the same trip as me.
What's interesting is that you're the same dude. Like, you look the same, you talk the same expressions. You haven't, like, you're not walking around with a Bible or anything like that. You're the same guy. You've just had a change in you've just had a change. It's a lifestyle change. To me, it's a transition. I was involved in that player life, and now here I am in a long-term relationship. What do you say to guys who are and I don't know that a transitional period has an age, but you just turned 40. I've just turned, I'm going to be 42 next month. That seems to be around the time where men sort of switch gears. What would you advise men to do if they have that little voice in the back of their head? You know what? Maybe my lifestyle needs to change. Maybe I need to change philosophy, or do they need to fight it?
The one thing I can say is that when you start to get that voice in your head that's starting to tell you to make some kind of change, doubling down on what you're doing is not going to help out. When you feel like, I'm kind of tired of dating around, sleeping with this girl and that, some men think, well, I have to sleep with more girls, I have to sleep with hotter girls, I have to have a threesome or so on. But that is just going to accelerate the feelings that you do have. So at that point, I suggest just take a break. Take a break from these things that you are doing. It's okay to hit the pause button. To let it's like a pond after a big storm. All the mud from the bottom, it rises up, and the pond is really cloudy. So just wait a couple days, or in this case, a couple of weeks or months. Just don't do anything, to let the dirt and the sediment in the pond calm down, so that you can see clearly, maybe what the next step is.
It's interesting that you say that, because a lot of guys have, I don't want to say have accused you, but they and I think I addressed this the last time I had you on, is they say, well, Roosh is just, the market is dried up in the red pill, the PUA and all this, and Roosh just appears to be jumping to the next big thing. What do you say to guys who say that?
Yeah, since I've gone to God, I've made millions of dollars, and I now travel in a private jet. I think people who have money on their mind see the motivations of others through only that lens. So this guy, he's obsessed about it. All his behavior is shaped by it. So when he sees someone making a move, a decision that he doesn't understand, immediately he's going to say, well, Roosh is jumping from a profitable niche to a non-profitable niche because of the money. He's going to be a grifter in some way. I don't know how, but, and you can't prove to anyone that what you're doing is sincere or not. But I mean, as long as I know why I'm doing it for, and I believe it's the right thing, all the multitudes on the internet, they can either participate in the journey with me, learn from me as I learn from them, or they can hate. I mean, I've been used to that. So all the hate I've received in the past has actually prepared me for dealing with the hate I'm getting now.
I'll be honest with you. The haters from your past, I think they pale in comparison to the haters of the present. I don't think people can really hate too much on someone who is trying to follow the Bible, trying to follow the Lord. I mean, you get certain haters, but women, who hate on you because we've sort of cracked the feminist code. I think that's going to be a little bit different. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Let me switch gears here quickly. Quintus Curtius, a world class. That guy is a brainiac's brainiac. This guy knows theology in and out, theology, philosophy. Are you ever going to reach out to him and maybe, I don't know, maybe do some collaborations, or how's that going to work? And the only reason I ask is because this is right up his alley.
Yeah, he's a great writer. He has written for Return of Kings.
God, since the start, man.
His own man. He's written a lot of books. I think he knows of God. I don't know if God is in his life or not. I don't know. I should definitely talk to him about that, see where he is. But his knowledge when it comes in terms of the classics,
second to none, man.
Stoicism and so on. I don't think there's many men that there's no other man I know who knows more than him.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And you guys actually did a couple of you guys did a couple of podcasts together. I forgot what they were called, but all right. Well, to wrap this up, talk to us about your tour a little bit. Where are you gonna what your tour dates are? What cities are you going to? Give us sort of a little bit, in terms of what you might be talking about.
So for 23 weeks, every Saturday, I'm doing a talk in a new
23 weeks.
city. Hopefully, I have the energy to go on. So Philadelphia is this Saturday, Washington, D.C., and then after that, I start going west, Columbus, Chicago, and onward all the way up to the West Coast and back to Texas and then back up again.
Woo. Wow.
So for all the dates and so on, people can go to my tour site, roosh.live.
Okay.
And so far it's good. The actual talk is combined with the Q&A, and it's 4 hours long, and some events also have a private dinner and a happy hour. So far it's really great to meet men after I found God, to see what their thinking is, because I'm meeting men who are not there.
Sure.
And they really still want game advice. And if they ask me, from based on what I know, I'm more than happy to give it to them. But it used to be that I would just know a certain kind of guy, just one type of guy who was only into game.
Right.
But now I'm seeing a different kind of person. I'm seeing men in various stages.
Okay.
Even women have started to come to my events too.
Wow.
I had a mother and daughter combo come in Boston. Wow. So now I'm seeing that I'm giving value to people, not just in this young adult exploring the city and women type of thing. So now I'm starting to hit upon other men who are not doing that, who are married, who have kids. Mm-hmm. So it's nice for me at least to see that I'm not a one-dimensional guru, let's say, but I am able to touch upon different parts of life, just as I experience different parts of life as I age.
Right. One last question here. Does it feel more fulfilling to be on this side? Mm-hmm. Because listen, when you're given, you've written all sorts of books. I think we know what books you put out there. But does it give you more of a sense of fulfillment, or is it the same? Because before you were helping guys, right? You're helping guys get laid, helping them to become better with women. But now it appears that you almost have a broader audience. You have a mother and daughter show up. Is it more fulfilling to do it this way than to do it the other way? Is it the same, vice versa?
The way I would get meaning in the past is the next hit, the next book sale, the next article, how many views it would get.
Comments and all that.
The next, comment count. So looking for the next dopamine hit.
Okay.
So now I'm not looking for that as much. Now I'm zoomed out and I see the big picture of what life is and what my mission in life is, which I talk about during the talk.
Okay.
And so I'm not as attached to my ego, to my pride, not attached to lust. I don't get as angry now. There's still some things I have to work on.
Sure.
But I'm also losing the ability to have fun in the cities. to be around a lot of people, the density of people.
Sure.
I started to get the craving to go out of the city into nature. Just
Right.
today, I went to a beautiful garden in Wayne, Pennsylvania, and just staying in that garden for 3 or 4 hours, I got more value than than it used to be going to a club for 3 or 4 hours to drink and hit on girls. So I can see this change happening. And I'm just taking it one day at a time, but at least I don't have to think, okay, today, where am I going to get that hit? Where am I going to get that dose of pleasure of feeling good?
Sure. That makes sense. And one last question, though. You always make me think of another one. To me, I've always maintained that, listen, hitting on girls, sleeping with new girls every night, that was a good life for me. But this, to me, is a better life. To me, being with, and maybe 10 years ago I wouldn't have thought this way, but I think it's a natural evolution of just manhood. Is this a better life than bang Ukraine or bang Colombia, or is it the same? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, when you say better, which metric are you using?
Oh,
so
wow.
if you're living a secular type of life,
Right.
and you look at my day-to-day life now, it is not interesting. It's boring. There's no women.
Right.
But if you're living a more holy type of life, I mean, you wouldn't compare it. You wouldn't say it's worse or better, because everyone's spiritual path, if you take the holy route, is different. So what's holy for me is going to be holy for you, because God's plan for each man is different.
Sure.
But for a secular type of life, for a man who wants to receive from the world, my life sucks.
Okay.
It isn't fun. And so I wouldn't say, hey, join me because you get to give up all these things. But really, the thing is why I'm giving it up for.
Sure.
So it's not like, some men, they go on a diet, they do intermittent fasting because they want to look good.
Sure.
But see, I wouldn't fast to look good. So the things I'm doing is not for me anymore.
Okay. All right.
So when you do it for a higher cause, you no longer care if it's better or worse, if it's fun or not, because what you're doing is right for its own sake, instead of it's going to give me something.
Wow. Okay. Well, you've got me convinced. This is unbelievable. Yeah, just you don't consume anymore. It sounds like you're giving. I think I'm still in the consumer phase for this. Roosh, thanks for making the time for me, man. I appreciate it. Listen, come back anytime. I'll be out there on July the 6th, which is on Saturday in Philadelphia, PA. Obviously, the location will be disclosed. Blah 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 blah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. All right. Let me see if I can turn that on.